Hey, I'm Danny, aka Topless. I've got a hiker tip or backpacking tip on keeping a group together. And just for the record, I'm in the middle of hiking the Pacific Crest Trail and I'm 1,600 miles in. So, first of all, I want to say, go watch the video on Hike Your Own Hike. Because keeping a group together, just for the sake of keeping a group together, is the wrong answer. I showed up to the trail with some friends and we had 4 weeks of just bickering because we didn't understand Hike Your Own Hike. So don't just try to keep a group together just for the sake of keeping a group together, because people are going to get upset. On the flip side of that, once you find a group who's pretty much hiking together, they have the same pace. They have the same pace. They have the same schedules. They go about the same distance. You'll naturally realize, oh, hey, we keep running into each other. This is great. How do we do this on purpose? You know, I always end up shooting these videos on an uphill. What the heck? So, to keep a group together, it's pretty easy. All you do is just talk. And you don't have to talk about much. You talk about, hey guys, where or what mile marker are we going to meet at for lunch? And what mile marker do we want to end our day at? And usually that's enough. If you just turn to someone and say, all right guys, I'm going to get walking. Where are we meeting for lunch? Everyone will be like, oh great, yeah, let's talk about that. And then you'll all meet for lunch. It's pretty easy. And anyone who doesn't make it or decides not to make it, it's totally fine. They knew where to be and they knew when. If they're not here, that's fine. And then same thing about where we're going to camp tonight. If someone does fall behind for some reason, they at least know the pace of the group, roughly, and they know where you're spending the night. And if they want to keep hiking into the night, they can. It's their choice. Hike your own hike. That's what they get to do. Sometimes you'll have a group that doesn't want to do that, or a person who doesn't want to do that. And that's fine. Hike your own hike. Like, keep going back to that one. Sometimes people will say something more like this. I'm just going to go until about 6 o'clock, and then I'm going to look for a tent site and stop there and make dinner and put up a tent. And that's great too. If that's said out loud ahead of time, then people know, okay, well, I'm going to look for someone in our group around 6 o'clock and just boom, there's the tent site. That's where we're all going to stay tonight. And you're done. So whether you talk about it and pick a spot or a mile marker, or you talk about it and you just say at 6 o'clock-ish, I'm stopping, just talk about it. That's the short version. So keeping a group together is really not that hard. You just need to make sure that the group naturally is running at the same pace and naturally stays together. From there, talk about keeping it together. Again, I can't stress it enough. If you've got just a group of friends who don't hike together very often or have never hiked together before, and you try to stay together, you're going to get a lot of tension. You're going to get people who want to go way faster, people who want to go way slower, people who want to sleep in, people who want to get up early, and it's just going to turn into a nightmare. So rather than bicker with your friends, hike your own hike till you find people who are hiking the same pace as you, and then start throwing it out there. Hey, where do you guys want to meet for lunch? Where do you guys want to meet for camping? So there you go. That's how to keep a group together when you're hiking. And keep in mind, you don't have cell phones out here half the time, most of the time. And you're going to get separated. It's just going to happen. But if you do kind of have an idea of where people are going to be, you can do things about it. And a good example of that is when I was hiking with Musty a week ago. We agreed on a place to stop. But when I stopped there, I didn't see her. And I knew she was ahead of me. And I saw a set of tracks that I thought were hers. I'm like, oh, that looks like her tread. Maybe I heard her wrong. Maybe she didn't say mile 60. Maybe she said mile 61. And I followed the tracks to the next one and still didn't see her. And went another 3 miles before I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to keep going any further than this. And I just set up a tent. And the next morning, I left her a message in rocks. So it's going to happen. Even though you have a plan, sometimes the plan doesn't work. But you need to not get bent out of shape about it, because you don't have a cell phone. You just do your best, and know that when you run into the person the next time, it's just going to be more exciting. You're both going to say, I haven't seen you. What happened? Big hugs. And, and excitedly explain, I don't understand. I didn't see you. I was following what I thought were your footprints, and they were so not. Versus, hey, I waited for you, and once the sun went down, I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to stay here. And you end up finding out the rest of the story, which can be fun as well. So understand that communication is the number one thing that I'm trying to get across here. And it doesn't have to be crazy, like micromanagey type of communication. It just has to be roughly where you plan on going next, or the next 2 stops. And then from there, just hike your own hike.